The Cresselia versus Darkrai event is happening right now. Chance to befriend Darkrai? Please only take one sleep session a day. So what I'm thinking is, because the sooner you catch your Cresselia, the sooner you will— oh my gosh, look how ominous it looks. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is the start of the Cresselia versus Darkrai event. This is a 2-week event that is going on. It is going to be ran a little differently from the other events that we've done, aka the legendary dog events. So we're going to look into the news of that, but first let's get started on our Sunday sleep report and let's see what sort of Pokemon showed up. So last week I was on Lapis Lakeside. I was kind of in the hunt to continue my search for a routes, a Stuffle, but my search has not been fruitful, so we'll see whether or not we get anything interesting. I did find something cool, so I'll show you guys that later. Alright, so good stuff. We see a Stuffle over there. I don't think there's any routes. No, there isn't. There's a Gallade, although not something I'm too thrilled about seeing because I don't want to catch a good Gallade. And Gallade is a fighting type, so not going to be helpful during my Psychic type boosted 2 weeks that's going to happen. So the good thing is that it is a new sleep style for me, so that is good. For those who want to 100% their sleep style dex, has any one of you completed that yet? To me, it's not really one of my priorities, so it's like an afterthought, you know, but it would be great to complete it one day. All right, is anyone hungry? Riolu is hungry, but I don't need a Riolu, so I'm just going to throw my bonus biscuit at Stuffle and we will go— oh, that was a big hit. So it looks like we have a Pokemon to analyze together, and I'm gonna choose a picture of Gallade because it'll give routes candy. So for those who want to level up their Gardevoir, you're able to do so since they share the same candies. All right, so let's see what this little Stuffle looks like for us. It is a careful nature. Is it going to be triple corn? It is completely mixed ingredients. That is very bad. And as you can see here, we have one ingredient finder, but it comes at the very end at level 100. Not ideal. And it is also an ingredient finding down nature. So yeah, definitely this is very terrible. Very terrible. But what isn't terrible is that the Cresselia versus Darkrai event is happening right now, and this is super exciting because, as I mentioned before, they're doing things a little different. So for new players, I'm sure this is so much fun, but for old players like myself, the newness of it is more exciting, more enticing, more tantalizing. So let's look at the details together just to see what is different from this 2-week event. So this reads: this 2-week event is a special period where Cresselia shines against Darkrai. During the event, the legendary Pokemon Cresselia is more likely to appear, and a bonus will be applied to Drowsy power if you have a Cresselia on your team when you sleep. Additionally, you can obtain samples of Cresselia down during the event through sleep research. You can trade these samples via event exchange for new items, which are Cresselia Incenses and Cresselia Biscuits, to help you discover Cresselia's sleep styles. So there's 3 sleep styles that you can uncover for that. Furthermore, during the event, the average Drowsy power of researchers worldwide and your own Drowsy power will be combined to accumulate event Drowsy power. So this is new, and this was a little bit confusing to me to read, not gonna lie, okay? This event Drowsy power may be the key to dispelling Darkrai's nightmares, which is why the world looks so loopy and poisonous looking, because it's filled with nightmares. We encourage you to collaborate with researchers worldwide to dispel Darkrai's nightmare and rescue the Pokemon. We have to do it together, guys, with the power of friendship. And if you make good progress during the event, there may be a chance to befriend Darkrai? How exciting. We hope you're looking forward to this. So I'm really much looking forward to this. This is very new, where they kind of hint a new Pokemon while an event is ongoing. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that's going to play out. I do have some thoughts about this that I'll share later. But in terms of the event period, they're going on for 2 weeks starting today, and they're going on in all areas. So you have to make sure which area makes the most sense for you. I'm going to head to Lapis Lakeside. I'll explain why later. I feel like I keep saying that, sorry. Okay, now pay attention because this is very important. The following effects will trigger in the applicable areas during the event. So for all days of the event, these are the bonuses. 1. You can accumulate limited time event Drowsy power and receive rewards based on your event rank. Event rank, that is new. The event Drowsy power is new too. Is there a gauge where you could see the event Drowsy power separate from your Drowsy power? We're gonna look when we get into the new map. Hopefully they show us that. The limited time event exchange will be available. That is same as always. You can obtain items through sleep research once per day. So this I really want to highlight. Unless you are a whale or you know what you're doing, please only take one sleep session a day and try to make sure that it is at 100%. I'm sure there are ways where you can maximize this while taking a nap, but you should ask yourself, am I a whale? Do I have enough knowledge to know what I'm doing? And if I were to take that time to reflect and answer for myself, the answer is no. So I'm only going to take one sleep a day. I'm not going to take any naps during this event just to take advantage of getting 100% Drowsy power. On top of that, your chances of obtaining Cresselia down is increased the higher up your Drowsy power is. And this is important because your first sleep session of the day is going to determine how much Cresselia down you get that you can exchange items for in the shop. So you get Cresselia down. The best way to get Cresselia down is through your sleep research, and it only happens for the first sleep session a day. If you take a nap, that counts as your first sleep session, and that usually is not going to be 90% or above. So the amount of Pokemon that you encounter is not going to be 8 out of 8 or more if you're using the good camp ticket. And on top of that, the star rarity of them from 1 star to 4 star, those sleep styles are going to not be the best either. So typically the higher the sleep style, the more main, or in this case down, you get from the event, which is why it's in your best interest to not take any naps. Do one sleep session a day, try to get 100%, and if you know what you're doing, then you could do the fancy stuff. But for regular people like me, yeah, this is not the time to take naps, you guys, okay? It's time to lock in. So certain Pokemon will be more likely to appear during this event, which are the event Pokemon. You've probably seen infographics about it when you're trying to decide which area to go to. So there certainly are obvious choices of places you shouldn't go to, but I think for most people, the toss-up is between Greengrass and Lapis Lakeside, or even Old Gold Power Plant. But yeah, as I mentioned, I'm headed to Lapis Lakeside. Now, each time a Psychic type helper Pokemon brings you an ingredient as it regularly would, it will bring one extra ingredient, which is nice. We've seen this with other events as well. The chance of any Psychic type helper Pokemon's main skill being triggered will be multiplied by 1.5, so they get a buff. They feel stronger, faster, more useful. The Snorlax in the event area will have Mago berries set as one of his favorite berries, and the 2 other berries will be random. So even regardless of the type of map you go to that are berry locked, yeah, that does not count for this. So you're not going to go to Lapis Lakeside and expect the other 2 berries to be Durian and Fighting, although that would be great because the first berry is set to Mago for that anyways. But yeah, we're gonna have to play with the dice here. And if you have a Cresselia on your team when you sleep, Drowsy power will be multiplied by 1.2. So this is new as well because in previous events we didn't need to do that with the legendary Pokemon that we add onto our team. They had nothing to do with our Drowsy power, but as you saw the premise of this event, it is a Cresselia versus Darkrai thing. We're working all together. Cresselia is there to help us, and with the combined power of our sleep score and Cresselia, we are able to bump up that event Drowsy power. So the thing that you might want to note here is that if you're sleeping, like let's say you're running a berry team, right? You don't need to necessarily put that Cresselia on your team while you go to sleep. What you do want to do, and this is very important, is before you sync your sleep, you want to make sure that you add the Cresselia onto the team. So just swap out a Pokemon. That Pokemon isn't going to get the energy regen, so you're probably going to have to use like a pillow or something. But you do want to take advantage of the Cresselia buff for that Drowsy power. So just swap out a Pokemon, add in your Cresselia, sync your research, and then do it, and then do whatever you want with your day afterwards. But Cresselia doesn't necessarily have to be on the team overnight. And the only caveat with this is that unfortunately, if you're tracking sleep with your phone, you won't be able to do that. So this is really for players like myself who use the Pokeball Go Plus, and I think this has created an additional perk as to why you may consider getting the Pokeball Plus for sleep tracking. It's not necessary to play the game, but if you envision yourself playing for a long time and you really have enjoyment out of this, then it's really a quality of life thing. Alright, moving on. Pokemon of different sleep types will appear during sleep research regardless of your sleep type. So you don't have to manually manipulate what type of sleep type you'll get, drowsy, slumbering, or dozing. And there are differences between week 1 and week 2 of the event. So if we take a look over here, on week 1, which is the week that we're on right now, main skill levels of Psychic type helper Pokemon will be boosted by 1 when they trigger. So that is great. You get to kind of see your Pokemon a little bit more powerful than usual. But on week 2 is when they pop off, okay? Main skills of Psychic type helper Pokemon will be boosted by 3 when they trigger for week 2. So unless you've already main skill seeded everything, you won't really see the benefits of this. But for those who are limited on main skill seed, maybe you just recently raised your Psychic type team, you're gonna really see them pop off. You're gonna see the potential of what they could do. And also, when you're starting on week 2, you don't start from basic 1. A bigger Snorlax will appear, and it can be raised starting at a certain strength. So I think, if I remember correctly, if you go on Greengrass Isle, you will start off on Ultra 1, but everywhere else will be like Great 1 or something like that. I'll leave the corrections here, but that might be also something that will help you decide where to go to for week 2. And that pretty much does it for all of the stuff here. So my event area bonus for Lapis Lakeside is 68. Not ideal, not the max that I want it to be, but I think we'll be able to do it. I was able to hit Master 13 last week and the previous week as well. So whether or not the 3-star Cresselia will show up on my Sunday sleep sessions for this next 2 weeks is really up to it. But as you can see, everything went up. Final strength, gains from berries, and gains from cookings. So I did really good. I did A. Could have done better though. And oh my gosh, look at this. How spooky. Rise and shine. I've got a special research request for you today. Oh no, look at that Pikachu. There have been reports of Pokemon on Greengrass Isle being tormented by nightmares. Upon investigation, I found that the mythical Pokemon Darkrai's powers were the reason. Its powers to induce nightmares is very strong, but it seems Darkrai doesn't mean any harm. Also, Cresselia, a Pokemon said to bring joyful dreams, can dispel nightmares. If Snorlax's Drowsy power and Cresselia's power were to combine, we should be able to dispel Darkrai's nightmares. So I want you to work with researchers around the world to accumulate Drowsy power. This is so much fun because this is the first time we have an event that we're all working on together. So no slacking, guys. This is a team effort. By sleeping alongside Cresselia, we can grow that power even bigger. So let's conduct research with Cresselia to keep Darkrai's power at bay. Alright, so it says Greengrass Isle during the little event dialogue, but you are able to go to other areas, as you can see here. So we are going to go to Lapis Lakeside, as I mentioned. Make sure you read it in case, because it's kind of dark, so you might mistake it for something else. Read the description there. This is Lapis Lakeside. We are going to go right over here. And let's see what our favorite berries are for this week. So it is fighting and a dragon type berry. Okay, and it's a salad, which is good. I'd rather salad than dessert, to be honest. There's also 2 stamps going on because of the world sleep thing. All right, wow, I feel like I can zoom out more than usual. Let's pick up all of our goodies. Hopefully our Pokemon will trigger something. I was really hoping on that Magnezone to trigger its skill. Detonate triggered twice though, which is good. Let's see, my Cramorant did nothing. It's just looking there, pretty, but useless. Oh my god, Maxwell too! Alright, well, now that I've collected and triggered everything I could, I'm gonna swap out to, where is it? This is the team that I'm gonna be using, but because I can use a Psychic type Pokemon, let's bring out, Fighting type Pokemon. I'll bring out my Quaxquavel. This is what it's gonna look like for now. My Gardevoir, it's alright. Also, my Wobbuffet is shiny, cute. Let's make our breakfast really quickly before lunchtime rolls around. And I was really hoping that I was going to be able to make defined coffee salad. I didn't have time to farm the ingredients. So I guess it works out that the pot expanding stuff didn't play out for me. But we are going to make our ninja salad. Let's shove in a lot of honey, or as much honey as we can. We got an 8% chance of extra tasty, so let's see whether or not we're gonna be lucky, and it's not. I was hoping I was gonna get some leg up, but that plan was just not in the cards for me. Now, the reason I went to Lapis Lakeside is because the amount of spawn that you can get for Psychic type is more significant than you get with the other places, especially places like Cyan Beach where only Mime and Mime Jr. show up. Do not go there. Use a easy bead ticket or whatever to just get out of there, but do not go to places with limited spawns like that. You're not going to do yourself any favors. So with Lapis Lakeside, you get Munna, Marshana, the entire route evolution, I believe, as well as Wobbuffet set, and why not? Just from the top of my head, if that is correct. I'll leave a little infographic here so you can take a look at it while I talk about it. But as you can see, Lapis Lakeside does have a generous amount of psychic spawns, which is important because, as I mentioned before, when it comes to Cresselia down, the more psychic type Pokemon you encounter at higher sleep styles, the more down that you will collect. Regular Pokemon that aren't psychic type will also give you down, but just not as much as psychic type Pokemon will. Now, you'll see that Greengrass Isle does also have a good amount of psychic spawns. The reason why I decide not to go there usually for events like this is because you're kind of competing with a large pool of Pokemon that can be rolled. So I'd rather not risk my chances. On top of that, although you did see I do have a Gardevoir, I feel like it's not working at its full potential. It does have skill trigger S&M before 50. However, it is not a main skill chance up. And I feel like it just doesn't perform as well as my Wigglytuff, who is the worst healer out of all healers available. But it triggers its skill more, and it double triggers a lot more often than my Gardevoir. And that leads me to believe that maybe it's because on top of having skill trigger S&M on my Wigglytuff, there is a main skill chance as well on the nature. So I am still on the hunt of a perfect route, which is why I decided to go to Lapis Lakeside. The Muna and Masharnas also spawn here, which is still a Pokemon that I'm looking for. I don't have a Psychic Berry Farmer, which is Muna. So unfortunate, I did not find one before the event, and the ones that I have right now, they're so below average that they're not even worth investing. Normally I would invest in one if it's like average and above, but these are like below average. So I don't even want to waste candy on them. I'd rather just roll my chances at finding one here. So I did mention the thing about whether or not there will be a gauge for event Drowsy Power, and it seems like this is it. So we will see firsthand tomorrow how this is going to work out. There are currently 15 ranks that you can achieve, but I think you'll see over here, for the first week you can only get to rank 8. But the exciting thing is that if you take a look over here, you'll see that there might be a chance to befriend Darkrai, and we've never seen this with previous events before. This is something very exciting because how is it going to look once we meet that global objective together? Once we beat Darkrai, what is it going to look like? Are we going to get a chance to catch Darkrai right after? I'm kind of hoping not, because that seems like we'll only be able to catch one Darkrai, and we've seen with events before and with the Cresselia right now, the first catch of the legendary is the same sub skills and nature for everyone. So the first one is the same for everyone. It's the second and consecutive ones that you catch that differ in nature and skill. So if we're only given the chance to catch one Darkrai, that would be so doo-doo. So what I'm thinking is after the event, it's probably gonna like give a storyline of like, oh yay, we did it, the power of friendship, everyone working together, getting good sleep, getting rid of the nightmares, and then Darkrai withdraws itself and it weakens and it hides away in an island, and then segue to a new island that they're going to release. And in that new island, we're going to see new Pokemon, and then we are going to see Darkrai, and that will be the introduction of the Darkrai event. That way we will catch more than one, and it's not like a one and done deal. But I've heard for a Pokemon Go, that's kind of the deal where there's an event and then you get an item, you get to catch the Pokemon, and it's like a kind of one and done thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm really hoping that's not the case for this. Okay, so the only upside, and this is a selfish reason coming from me, the only upside I can see in this being like okay is because that kind of fulfills my need of knowing that we all have the same Darkrai and we're on equal footing. But that's like super selfish, and that's the only reason. So that's something that's not ideal, and I would prefer it to not be that way. If you have any ideas or speculations or what you would like to see happen after this event, leave it in the comment section below. I would love to read how imaginative you guys are as well, and how close we are to being on the dot when it comes to this. So this is really exciting because old players like myself have new things to talk about. Like, this is totally new. The event gauge and everything is totally new. It really depends on the power of everyone working together. So yeah, I mean, before you can only blame yourself. Now you can kind of blame others. But these are the rewards. Look at the Cresselia biscuit. It looks like the little flower pattern on the Muna, which I think is a really cute detail that they did. And as you can see, I wore a dress today that has flowers on it too, trying to match the theme and everything. And for new players, my rule of thumb is that the first catch, I just use a master biscuit unless it's hungry. If it's hungry, you want to make sure you throw the Cresselia biscuit at it, okay? But before you even consider using an incense, listen up. up. Make sure you have at least 3 Cresselia biscuits, because the worst thing that can happen is you use your incense, you use your biscuit, it's still not full, but you have no more biscuits, and now you're screwed. Because the Cresselia biscuits give it more points than it would if you were to use a Poke biscuit, Great Biscuit, or a Ultra biscuit. So what worked for me is I always have 3 at hand, and that will pretty much fill it up. And it requires 18 bars, I believe, to catch it. If it's the same as the other legendaries that we've caught in the past. Wait, was it 18 or is it 24? I forget. So have 3 biscuits at hand. But make sure you have master biscuits as well, because if the first Cresselia you encounter is not hungry, I recommend you just catch it with the master biscuit, because this is really more important now to do so than ever, because the sooner you catch your Cresselia, the sooner you will benefit from using it during the event, because it will help you with the global Drowsy power, as we have read before. There is quite the need to catch it as quickly as you can. So if it's not hungry, use your master biscuit, get it done. It's going to be the same for everyone for the first catch. If it's hungry, don't waste a master biscuit. Try to use your Cresselia biscuits. And if it's a shiny, the universe loves you, because you just need to use a Poke biscuit and it's a guaranteed catch. Now, the other very valuable item here is the main skill seed. At 350 down, you can get your main skill seed. I usually get this in week 2. But during the first week, really prioritize the incenses and the biscuits. In week 2, the shop will reset, so you can get incenses and biscuits again, but they're at a higher price than 80 and 60 that you could see here. Also, if we take a look at the missions here, you'll see use 7 incense. Make sure that you remember to do that, because that tends to be the mission objective that I forget to do. And speaking of incense, make sure if you have any psychic type incense, this would be the time to use them. As you can see, I do not have any, but you want to use them because, as I mentioned before, the more psychic types that show up at higher sleep style spawns, the more Cresselia down that you'll get, which means more items that you can get from the event shop. Wow, that was a lot to talk about during this event. I feel like I should have done this video beforehand, but it is true to my nature to kind of read all of this while it's happening, because when I think about myself as a player, I like to listen to stuff before and after, okay? And there's brilliant people out there that make really in-depth videos of everything you need to know, and that's usually the stuff I watch before getting into these events. But for those who want the refresher on a more casual, mood, this is what I'm providing for you. So just little reminders, gentle nudges of things to consider, things to look out for the event. And yeah, that was a lot to go through. I've done a lot of yapping. I'm gonna need to drink something soon. And I want to make my lunch, but I don't have enough space for a green grass salad. And I don't have enough ingredients for my ninja salad as well. So we're going to have to swap some stuff around. Oh, our Wobbuffet triggered its skill onto my healer, my Gardevoir. Alright, so once again, this is my team. This is the Gardevoir that I'm working with, and I like it, okay? I really like that their skill trigger S&M. Energy recovery bonus is nice as well, ever since the buff that we've had for it, which if you don't know, usually when you do your long sleep, the cap is at 100 for energy regen, but Pokemon with energy recovery bonus will now benefit from getting it up to 105. I mentioned I don't have a berry farmer because I couldn't catch a good Muna, but this is a makeshift berry farmer. It is EO, my Espeon, and this is what it looks like. And then I have Mr. Mime over here. She farms tomatoes for me, and this is what she looks like. And then my Wobbuffet, who also has berry farming. Honestly, I think my team is okay. Like, I think it's doable. And then, as you saw, I'm farming for leaks. Alright, so I'm not gonna bore you with the doo-doo catches I've gotten, but I do want to show you. Look at this shiny Swablu I got. It is beans. If this was berry fighting and it had helping speed, helping bonus, and all that good stuff, this would be so perfect to use for this event, because when Swablu evolves, I thought I had one, but I don't. But when Swablu evolves, it becomes an Altaria, and Altaria, before the introduction of Dratini, it was the only Pokemon with dragon type berries. But now we have Dratini and Dragonite, Dragonair, so we have a larger pool of dragon Pokemon. But yeah, before that was the only dragon type Pokemon. So it seems like I will be able to use my Dragonair for this event, or I don't know, maybe not. And it looks like we have some gift in the mailbox for us, so let's see what it is. It's an incense. Oh no, it's a cookie. It's a cookie, which is great. So I only need to get 2 more cookies, one incense, and then I'm ready to get my first catch. So let's go into the research community tab. We have a lot to catch up on after all that yapping. Hopefully you guys are still here for the yapping portion of this video. But as always, we have a coffee. The cinnamon has fallen all the way to the bottom. Cheers! I just took a look at how long the video has been right now, and it has been recording for 41 minutes. So I got quite a bit of editing to do, but I do want to catch up with you guys on everything. First things first, Cresselia down. We got 10, which is great. Thank you to all of my friends here at Friendship Level 5. You do still get mains if you are Friendship Level 1 with people. So if you feel like, oh, there's no point because I missed my period to reach level 5, fret not. You still get them at level 1. It's just a lower chance, but better some chance than 0% chance, you know? So I have been away for a week prior to this because I had a personal matter to tend to, so I had to go to Vietnam. And I had a really good time there, spending a lot of time with family and just taking in the moment, you know? But on top of that, I got really sick afterwards, okay? I got really sick. And it was like the last 2 days of my trip that I started feeling sick. And yeah, that was not pleasant. So I'm still recovering from whatever I caught. Luckily, it's not as bad as whatever sickness I got when I moved to Singapore, because that was bad. I was sick for almost a week. But it seems like it hasn't progressed to that because I haven't really been coughing. But now I'm a little scared because I have developed a dry cough just today. I mean, we'll see whether or not it gets a little worse. But yeah, during my time away, there has been this feeling of, oh my gosh, there's just so much happening with the games, like Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon TCG Pocket, and I really did feel like I wasn't taking advantage of the momentum. And I think that's just the name of the game. When you're making content, you feel like you always have to be on the ball with certain things, but at the same time, there are moments in life where you have to prioritize life for what it is, and those are one of those moments. So yeah, those are my little thoughts. There was also, as I mentioned before leaving, When Life Gives You Tangerine. That was like the buzz K-drama that was the talk of the town, the talk of the world, really. And I haven't watched it yet. I really want to watch it, but I've more or less seen clips of it, and I can already relate so much to the story and just the cast members as well. And it made me feel a lot more sentimental during my time in Vietnam as well. So yeah, I feel like when it comes to family, when you're in the moment, you feel like you're doing everything and the best that you can. And it isn't until you're away from them that you have those thoughts like, I should have done more. Like, why didn't I sit for like that extra minute with so-and-so? Even if it meant sitting in silence, at least I'm still in their presence. And yeah, so I am dealing with feelings of grief and regret and a lot of guilt as well. But things like When Life Gives You Tangerines, I don't know, I feel like stories and K-dramas that really echo what real life situations could look like realistic ones, help you so much with navigating those feelings, because it's something that everyone will navigate in periods of their life. And that just so happens to be the season of life that I'm in right now. But I'm very happy to be back in my group. Traveling is fun, visiting family is fun and all, but there's just something about being at home with everything that you're so familiar with that brings so much comfort. So like sleeping on your own bed, shower, your own shampoos and stuff, doing your own laundry even. Oh, congrats on the shiny Rattata Decidueye 13. And yeah, so I am back, and it was like go the moment I got back. So a lot of the Pokemon TCG Pocket stuff, as you guys saw, with the introduction of the shiny cards from Shining Revelry that came out, and then rank games that came out the next day. I had no idea that Shining Revelry was even going to be out, because I kind of unplugged during my week in Vietnam as well. So I did not know anything that was happening. Okay, oh my gosh, this is a shiny as well. I think it is. There's a little twinkle on his toes. Usually those things don't show up in the portraits when it's shiny, but the color leads me to believe that it is a shiny Igglybuff. So congratulations, Navo. When I caught up with my Discord and I saw all this news and anticipation of everyone's excitement, I was excited too, but then the other part of me was like, damn. I need to prepare. I need to prepare for everything I need to know about the ranked games that are coming out. I need to take a look at the read, the notes and everything, and yeah, prepare for recording for that. So that was kind of how my week back from Vietnam has been, on top of just trying to recover from the cold. And it is Monday now. Supposedly it is a statutory holiday here in Singapore, so probably just going to take it easy And yeah, I have a lot of stories that I do want to share with you guys from my time in Vietnam. Some fun stories, things that will hopefully make you laugh as well. But this video has been getting pretty long, so I will save that for the next time. So I do hope that you are looking forward to that. But yeah, the world continues moving even when you take a week off, and it's just so crazy to get back into it because you're reminded of how quickly the internet moves. And it's crazy. So I hope that this is a little reminder for you guys who are chronically online to take moments for yourself to just take a step back as well, because it's moments of quietness and the slow moments of life that you tend to learn to appreciate even more. So yeah, slow down a little bit. But how exciting is this Cresselia versus Darkrai event? I am so excited. I'm very interested to seeing how the global Drowsy thing will work out, because as you see right now it's at 0, but when we all do our first sleep tomorrow or tonight and we wake up tomorrow and we do all of this, we're gonna see what is everyone's combined efforts going to look like on sleep day 1. Okay, are we gonna do good? And I think it's just more fun knowing that we're doing this all together. So yeah, that pretty much concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed a lot of what I had to say. There was definitely a lot to go through, but hopefully you learned something new, or maybe it was just a reminder and a refresher for you guys. So I hope you benefited in this video in some way. If you did, or if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment, and please subscribe to the channel if you want to support the channel growth even more. We are at 1.6k subs, so that is pretty exciting. We are like so close to 2k, and I'm very excited for that milestone. Give that subscribe button a little clicky click. Let me know where you decided to go to for this event, and if there's any tips and tricks that I didn't mention in this video, feel free to share them below. I'm sure everyone, including myself, would love to hear that. And I am wishing you good sleep, get 100% sleep score. We can do this. Let's get Darkrai together, and I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, take care, good luck, happy sleeping, and goodbye.